Hey, how are you guys doing? Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. As you guys are coming on into the live, say hi, hello, hey, all that awesome stuff. So that I can see those of you that are joining us live, those of you that are new to my space, welcome. My name is Beverly Walthour. I am a business strategist, specifically for established Christian female coaches who desire to accelerate their income and their impact without compromising their Christian values. And so I want to go ahead and dive on in to today's conversation. So I can see some people who are on here. Also, those of you that are catching us on the replay, type in hashtag replay, leave your questions, your comments. Hey, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us. Those of you that are catching us on the replay, type in hashtag replay. Leave your questions, your comments. Hey, Rakita, and I'll definitely make sure that I get back to you guys as well. I see you, Dr. Janice. Thank you so much for joining us. And so, you guys, I tell you this all the time. So this is I'm a put on the business strategist hat for a second, and then I'm going to jump into the conversation. So this particular topic, first of all, I love doing Money Making Mondays. The powerful all go together, all the good stuff. But you guys remember what I said to you guys, pay attention to the questions that your audience is asking you. Pay attention to the questions that your audience is asking you. And lo and behold, this particular topic came about. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Tanisha. This topic came about because someone asked me, well, Bev, how do I actually I had two people. In all honesty, someone asked me either last Thursday or last Friday, and then another question was in my Facebook group today about pricing your services. So lo and behold, what is Money Making Monday about today? It's about pricing your coaching services. So you guys, once again, pay attention to the questions that the people, Shawan, are asking you in your audience, because they will give you the content that you can use. So whether or not that content is for your blog, what to email your list, what to go live about, do a room on Clubhouse if you're over there on Clubhouse, if you're doing short form videos like Reels or TikTok, that type of thing over there on YouTube Shorts as well. So you guys, I'm telling you, pay attention to those questions. And the powerful thing is, I say this all the time, don't put your coach talk on it. Once again, use their verbiage. So both of those questions were, how do I price my coaching services? How do I price my coaching services? How do I price my coaching services? So what did I do? I titled this, and let me go back and double check and make sure that I had the title on here. Boom, lo and behold, how to price your coaching services. So that way, anyone who has a question about how to price their coaching services, they know that they can catch this live. And so once again, I didn't make it all cutesy. I didn't go through and say, okay, well, the Lord does says that you need to use your gifts, and this is how you use your gift. I didn't do all of that. Get straight to the point. Use their verbiage. It will make a huge difference. And you guys, when we get into that space of taking what people do, this is just general in life, period. But when we take what people say and then we paraphrase it, that takes away from what they just said. Because if they're saying, just like this example, I had two people that asked, hey, how do I package my services? But then if I go through and say, thus saith the Lord, this is how you use your skills and your gifts, and they're going to be like, okay, well, that's not what I said. So I'm going to go on to the next. So a lot of times when we take what people say and we paraphrase it, and we do that, for our own purposes, for our own processing purposes, just to ensure that we heard them correctly. But when you do that, in their minds, they're just like, okay, but I didn't say that. And technically, they didn't say that. They did not say that. So you want to be really careful. So my clients will say to you all the time, Bev will ask and Bev will say, okay, what did they say? What were the words that they used? Use their words. Use their words. Because once again, when you do that, it resonates more with them. And they're just like, oh, okay, she hears me. Okay, yep, that's exactly what I said. That was the question that I asked. Oh, boom, she went ahead and she answered the question, so on and so forth. So you guys, that was just my coach strategy, my business strategist hat that I put on for a few seconds on that one right there. So be really careful. So glad you were able to join us live, Tanisha. And so be really careful about paraphrasing and summarizing and putting on our consultant talk or our coach talk, because once again, that disempowers people in that sense of where they're just like, well, that's not what I said. And although we know from that expert point of view, well, hey, this is what she actually meant, or this is what they actually meant. But once again, it takes away from what they say when we actually do that. So just be really careful. And I had to learn that with my background in education. You know, each little field that you come from, we have our own verbiage and our own talk. And so if you're not careful, once again, people will end up tuning you out because they feel like you're not listening to them, because once again, you're putting on the professional verbiage, or once again, what it actually is. So like I said, I just wanted to throw that on out there. Okay, now let's go ahead and dive on into this conversation. You guys, I told you to make sure that you bring something to write with. So make sure that you have something to write with as we talk about, you know, when it comes to you and your coaching services. So you guys, you know, I always start off with mindset. I don't care what type of coach you are. I don't care. There's always mindset involved. And when I talk about mindset on this, I'm talking about your own mindset. So a lot of times we actually end up doing mindset things, even if we're not a mindset coach. But on this, I'm talking about your mindset. You guys, especially because I'm speaking specifically to women and specifically to Christian women. Your mindset around the pricing of your service is going to be what makes or breaks you when it comes to your pricing. You have to ensure that your mindset is in alignment with what it is that you're offering. And so a lot of times, and I hear this all the time, and I understand it and I get it. I get it to my core. A lot of times with us, like I said, as women, specifically us as Christian women, our goal, we want to help. We want to help. We want to help. We want to help. And a lot of times, I don't even like to use the word help, because to me, it takes on a lot more responsibility when I use the word help versus saying that I support people in this process. Because once again, providing them with support, because there's still things that they need to do. But once again, we have this mindset of we're trying to help everybody. And you guys, I say this all the time. With your coaching and consulting, you are not called to help everybody. I say this all the time. That's a bit of arrogance there. You're being very arrogant when your goal is to try to help everybody. You're not called to help everybody, because if you were called to help everybody, what about the other coaches that are out there that do what you do or something similar? What about the other consultants that are out there? If you were called to help everybody, then who are they supposed to help? I'm just asking. I'm just going to put the question on out there. I'm just going to put the question on out there. You see what I'm saying? So once again, be really careful about having that mindset, because you guys, you were not called. And April, we already know, yep, we were not called to help everybody. So my thing is, mindset wise, you want to shift into that mindset of knowing, okay, you know, God has called me to a specific group of people. And so once again, in order for me to show up and serve them, I have to be able to show up and serve in a certain way. And so for me, when it comes to me being a coach, I'm not that coach that says all of your services need to be high ticket and premium. I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe in that. Now, there's some coaches out there that do believe in that. And if that message resonates with you more, definitely go check them out. I'm not that coach, though. I'm not that coach. But what I will say, if you do have premium and high ticket services, you don't decrease the pricing of those things to accommodate those who don't have the money to invest in that. That is what I will say, though. I will say that. So once again, you want to be really careful about decreasing the pricing of your services to accommodate someone else, because what ends up happening is you're still going to pour out your heart and soul, because we do that just as Christian coaches. We will show up, Margaret, and we give everything to what it is that we're doing, right? And so the thing is, you start to resent, because once again, a service that you had initially priced at $5,000, now you've given it to this person for $1,000, or hey, just pay me whatever you can, and they pay you $50. And now they're going to do a couple of things. You're going to have those, or even if you say, hey, come on in here for free. And the thing is, now, unless the Holy Spirit led you to do this. Now, once again, I'm not, because the thing is, the Holy Spirit didn't tell you to give everybody your services for free. Period. God did not tell you to give everyone your services for free. Now, that I do know. Because if that was the case, God would have told you to volunteer versus telling you to start a business. God knows the definition of a business. So I know he's not telling you to give all of your services away. I know he's not telling you to discount all of your services to every single person that comes along. That is not God. That's you. That's your limiting beliefs. That's your self-sabotage. That part, that's all dealing with your mindset. Now, what I do encourage my clients to have, yes, you have your premium and your high ticket. Now, for me, when I talk about high ticket services, to me, those are my mid four figures up. So when I say anything from my mid four figures, so 5,000 on up to $9,999, to me, my high tickets are my 5 and 6 figure offers. That's how I define it. Now, everyone else has their own definition, but that's how I define premium and high ticket services. And once again, do I believe every single coach has a premium and high ticket service? Yes, I do. Every last one of you guys. Every last one of you guys have premium and high ticket services that you can offer. Now, once again, am I that coach that says that all of your services should be that? No, I'm not. Like I said, there are other coaches out there. I don't subscribe to that. I do not subscribe to that. Now, once again, but like I said, I do subscribe to the fact that every last one of you guys can have a $5,000 plus offer, period. I don't care who it is that you serve. I don't care who it is that you serve. And it's all about how you package and position that offer. So once again, every last one of you guys do have high ticket and premium services that you can offer people, period. So whether or not it's a person or whether or not it's an organization that you support through the consulting side of your business. But once again, every last one of you guys have high ticket services. Okay. So that's the first thing when it comes to mindset wise. I want you to have that in your mind that I can offer a high ticket or a premium service. Now, I will also put this caveat on that. It makes it so much easier for you to offer a high ticket service or a premium service if you've actually invested at that level. Once again, it makes it so much easier for you to do it if you've actually invested at that level. It makes it easier for you to do that. Okay. Now, your services, when it comes to actually pricing, once again, so like I said, mindset wise, I need every last coach, whether or not you're watching this live, if you're watching this on the replay, you can offer premium and high ticket services. So that's the first part. So those of you, if I say the number 5,000, or if I say that you do have a $15,000 service or a $100,000 service, I want you to sit with what comes up, what thoughts pop up in your mind, what feelings do you experience when you see or hear that? Because for some of you guys, you're like, nobody's going to pay me that amount. Oh my goodness. Versus that, those of you that say that versus those of you that will say, to me, the first thought that will come in my mind is, okay, what can I offer at a $10,000 price point? What can I offer at a $100,000 price point? What can I offer for some of you guys? What can I offer at a $5,000 price point? That would be the first question that would come to my mind versus, oh, nobody's going to pay me that. Because if you have that mindset, that's a limiting belief. But if the first thing that popped in your head was, okay, well, what can I offer at that investment? That's the question that you want to ask yourself. That's putting you on the right track mindset wise if you don't already have that. Okay. So like I said, the very first thing is going to be mindset. And once again, you knowing one, that you can offer premium and high ticket services. I don't care what type of coach you are. And then once again, that question that you should be asking yourself, if you don't already have a service at that level, is what is it that I can offer? And so the thing is, when you're offering coaching at that level, it does not mean that if it's $5,000, that you have to work with somebody for 12 months and you meet with them 2 times a week. And, it's not all of that stuff. You're not dumping in a bunch of stuff. Because remember this, and I say this to my clients all the time, people pay for transformation. They're not paying to meet with you twice a month. They're not paying to meet and get your workbook and your t-shirt and those Zoom calls. That's not what they're paying for. They're paying you for the transformation. So the thing is, when you're talking about your services, you want to speak to it from that perspective of the transformation. What is that transformation that they're going to receive as a result of working with you? How will their life be better? Their career, their relationship, their business, their organization, their health, however it is that you serve your people. How is it going to be better working with you versus what they're experiencing now? Because remember, right now, it's something that's going on. They're experiencing a challenge or a problem, or, whatever those terms that we use. We talk about, their pain points, their problems, their challenges. What is it that they're experiencing now that they're ready to get out of? What are they ready to get out of right now that they're experiencing? Now, this right here is something that I say to people all the time. You're not begging and pleading with people. Some of you guys, one of my clients asked before, she was like, Ben, what do I do to convince people? You don't convince people that they need your services. Because remember, and I tell my clients this all the time, there are 4 types of people that are in your current audience right now. There are 4 types of people in your current audience right now. Those people, and most of us focus on these first 2 people. And once again, it goes back to a lot of us being Christians. So the first group of people, they have a problem and they're not trying to solve it. They have a problem. They're not trying to solve it. So they're like, girl, I know he ain't no good, but you know what? I'd rather deal with his crazy than to get somebody else's new crazy. So they realize they got an issue, but they're not trying to solve it. And then there are people, they don't even realize that it's an issue, so they're not trying to solve it. They don't even consider that an issue, and they're not trying to solve it. And that's where a majority of us are spending our time. And that's 80% of your audience. That is 80% of the audience that's currently following you right now. Just saying, we all know a lot of them jokers. But a lot of us, we're trying to convince and beg and plead with those people that they need our services. You need to stop. And that's where that thing comes in about I want to help everybody. I want to help everybody. How can you help someone that does not want to be helped? That's the problem. That's where you come into that space. And like I said, you're taking your $1,000 services and you're offering it to them for $10. Now, once again, unless the Holy Spirit says, I'm not talking about that. I'm not even using that as an example. I'm talking about those of you when you come across someone and you're talking to them about their services, and they may legit not have the $1,000. They may not have it. Well, Bev, what do I do about those people? Bev, I see her heart and I see that she really wants XYZ. Then you offer her something that's in her price range. That's what you do. They don't go into Target or Walmart. They don't go into these stores and once again say, hey, I want this purse here. The purse is $500 and all they have is $100. The person behind the counter is not going to say, well, I know her heart. I see that she really wants this purse. And so I'm just going to give it to her. No, that's not how this works. What do? They go through and they show her purses that are in her price range. It's the same thing with what you do. It's the same thing. So you do not lower the prices of your services. You don't do that. Don't do that. Period. Okay? So like I said, you speak to them about things that may be in their price range. Well, Belle, she's like, that's not going to help. You know what? Beggars cannot be choosy. So you guys, once again, this is a business that you have. You are offering services. The same thing, like I said, when you go get your hair done, you guys look at the examples of everyday businesses. You can't sit here and say that you're trying to run a business and that you're a CEO and all of this stuff. You're using these titles and saying that you're a business owner, but you're not running your business like a business. You're not doing that. You have to ensure, and it goes back to that mindset of what we were talking about before. Yeah, Rakita, sometimes we just got to use these examples where people get like, oh. And so, like I said, if they don't have the investment for that particular thing, because like I said, they may legit not have it. And I'm not that coach that will sit here and say, well, hey, you tell them what their child was sick and what would they do if they had to come up with the money in 25. I don't do none of that. I don't do any of that stuff. But what I will say and what I will do is say, well, hey, because of where you are right now, this is what I can offer you and whatever that service is. But I'm not going to take my $7,500 service and say, hey, you can get in here for $50. I'm not doing that. Those of you that have been there and done that and have the t-shirt, you know how that leaves you feeling when you do that. Because you guys, this is the thing. You still have to take care of your household. You still have to take care of your business expenses. I cannot go to the mortgage company, the bank that has my mortgage, and say, well, you know what? She was such a sweet person. And so, I just went ahead and gave all my services away. And so now I don't have the payment for my mortgage. They're not trying to hear that. So what do you do? Because you've now put yourself in that situation to where now you can't take care of your business expenses or your household expenses. What do you do now? And you guys, it's not about being cold-hearted. It's not about not caring for people. That's not what it is. But you have your business expenses, you have your household expenses. There are things that you need to be able to take care of, and you can't take their kind heart to the bank. You can't send that off And for your utility bill, you can't do that. They're not accepting that as payments. So it's not about you being cruel and harsh and not trusting God, and God is going to take care of your bill. God also told you to be a good steward of what it is that he's giving you. So we need to be really careful about that. And so, like I said, if they don't have the funds for that $5,000 service or that $1,000 service, hey, well, what do you have budgeted for this? If they come and say, well, hey, all I have is $50. Okay, do you have an ebook or something that you can give them? I don't know, because I don't know what you have when it comes to your services. And also, this does not mean that you need to create a $10 service, a $50 service, a $100 service, a $500 service, a $1,000. You don't need to have 11 services trying to accommodate everybody, because that goes back to what I said earlier about this mindset of trying to help everyone. You have to be really careful about that. Because for some people, Detrice, I am so glad that it's making sense. I'm so glad that it's making sense. And you guys, like I said, it's for some people, literally, it's going to be, hey, you know what? I'll do a live stream about that. And I'll talk to you about it via my live stream. Or, hey, I wrote a blog about that. Go check out my blog. Some of you guys have to get into that habit of knowing and understanding you were not called to serve everybody in your business. That's why some of you guys are frustrated. That's why some of you guys have this anxiety and this doubt and this worry in your business, because you're trying to serve everyone. You're trying to stuff everyone into what it is that you do as a coach, and that's not what you were called to do. If they don't have it, they don't have it. You can tell them, hey, you can continue to hang out in my community, but so many of us, we focus our time and our energy on those people that do not have versus the people that do have. Well, babe, you don't understand. We're in a recession. I know exactly what's going on. I live in the same world that you do. But I also know about the God that I serve. I also remember the story about the children of Israel when they were over there in Egypt. And as Egypt was experiencing the plagues, they were over there in the land of Goshen. That's what I do remember. And that's what I stand on. Because I refuse to believe that God told me to have a business in this season with everything going on, pandemic-wise, food prices, gas prices, all of that stuff going on in the world. I refuse to believe that God told me to start this business or have this business during this time, but then turn around and say, well, hey, you're not going to make any money from it because of what's going on in the world. I refuse to believe that. So that means something has to shift, because God's not going to change. He's not going to change. So who needs to change? Your mindset needs to change. There are people out there who are waiting on your services. I say this all the time. You need to get into the room. Get into a room with people who are buying and selling at that price point, so you can actually see what's going on. So you can see other people closing sales. That was one of the powerful things about the ladies who were in my 30-day challenge, sales challenge, so that other people can see. I was always saying, hey, what was your win today? Because I wanted people to see that people are still investing in spite of everything that's going on in the world. And the powerful thing is, the people, the coaches that I serve, they're not just coaches that help people make money. I want to be very clear about that, because I want you guys to see. One of my clients, bless her heart, I love her to death, 69 years old. 69 years old and out there making sales at 69. So you guys, it does not matter. What does matter is your mindset, and you knowing and understanding that there is no way that God told you to have this business, and then he said, nanny boo boo, I'm not going to give you any clients. That's not how our God is. So that means our mindset has to shift. So what type of conversations are you having? Are you talking to the people about the transformation that they will experience as a result of working with you? Are you, because that's what people will pay for, the transformation. Are you speaking to the transformation? Okay, Michelle said, what about having a suite of coaching services on different topics? Is it better to stick to one or two topics? Is one trying to help too many different people by having 5 different coaching programs? So, Michelle, the only thing I'm not 100% sure, when you say 5 different coaching programs and you said different topics, I'm going to make this assumption because I haven't had a conversation with Michelle about her services like that. So, Michelle, I'm assuming when you're saying topics, they're all related, right? But so you're not saying, okay, you got a coaching program on how to be a photographer, and then you got another coaching program on how to be a basket weaver, and then another coaching program. I'm assuming that's what Michelle means, but she's just saying she has 5 different offers. I'm assuming that's what it is, Michelle. Let me know if I'm correct, if I'm right or not. And Michelle, I don't know if you're available to actually come on this live with me. Or if you are, let me know and I'll pull you on and you can actually ask the question. So I want to make sure that I have the clarity first, and then I'll go through and answer Michelle's question, because I want to make sure that I answer her question correctly. Okay. And so you guys, that's the thing. So like I said, we have to shift our mindset. Speak to your people about your transformation. Okay. So once again, people will pay for that transformation. Career entrepreneur transition phase building. So let me ask you this, Michelle. So these are the topics that Michelle is talking about. Do you weave those topics together? So if you're talking about career and entrepreneurship, because I can see those two going together, either you're, supporting them when it comes to their career or making that transition when it comes to entrepreneurship. So are you weaving in the transition and the faith building into those topics, when it comes to career or entrepreneurship? Or are you saying that you talk about career, then you talk about entrepreneurship, and then you talk about transition, and you talk about faith building, and then purpose? So Michelle, and you guys, like I said, Michelle and I have not had a conversation. Michelle, it sounds like to me that you're doing purpose coaching, helping people to figure out what their purpose is. So whether or not it's in their career, whether or not it's entrepreneurship, that's what it feels like based on what you're saying. So it feels like you're doing that, you're a purpose coach. And once again, with what it is that you do as a purpose coach, you help them when it comes to trying to figure out what it is and how it is that they're supposed to be walking this thing called life out. That's what it sounds like based on what it is that I'm hearing you say. There you go. Yep. So Michelle, I can actually see why you would talk about those particular topics. I can see that with you. So that makes 100% 100% sense to me. That does make sense to me, Michelle. And you guys, I promise you, Michelle, have you and I had a conversation like that? No. So once again, you guys, I'm telling you, so it was just based on, this is what popped up when Michelle put it up there. So yes. Okay, cool. How are you, Joanna? Hey. Okay, so you guys, like I said, people will pay for the transformation. So are you speaking to people about the transformation? Are you speaking to the transformation that people will achieve as a result of working with you? Are you speaking to that? And are you speaking about it consistently? Additional factors that people will pay for, additional things to take into consideration when it comes to paying and what people will pay, right? People will pay when it comes to that transformation around their health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships. And when I talk about the transformation, that people will pay for that transformation, especially when it has to deal with their health, their wealth, and or their relationship. And I don't know of any coach out there that does not deal in at least one of these areas. I don't know of any coach that does not deal in one of these areas. Let me know in the chat if you feel like what you do as a coach does not fall into one of these 3 areas. And when I talk about relationships, that could be relationship with God, themselves, or others. So let me know if you feel like what you do as a coach does not fall into one of those areas. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hey. Yes. And like I said, for a lot of us, once again, when it comes to what we do, it's more than one of those categories down there. More than one of those categories. And I love what Yolanda said. She's like, hey, mine fall in all 3. You better, get in where you fit in. Okay, so I'm not seeing anyone who feels like what they do as a coach does not fall into one of those areas. So once again, people will pay you for what it is that you offer. They will pay you for that, period. So as long as you have that, so when it comes to that, I want to make sure it's April I'm talking to. Yep. Okay, so when it comes to that, so yes, so April, not only when it comes to, because April said, does media fall under wealth? Media falls under wealth in that sense of it helps them with having that multiple streams of revenue, helping them with that visibility. Also, April, I would venture to say, just depending upon the type of media, even thinking about themselves, because for some people, they have this issue with showing up. You see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to that media, you help them to be able to show up. So they're working on their relationship with themselves, because there's something going on to why they feel like, they can't show up whether or not it's in their authentic self, whether or not they're like, well, dang, when I do show up, no one's actually, engaging with my content. What you see what I'm saying, April? So I feel like it can fall into multiple areas depending upon how it is that you spin it when it comes to your media and how it is that you actually support your people. So I can see it in a couple of different ways. There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. So, Nicole, these three areas. So, people will pay for you when it comes to transformation to help them improve their health, their wealth, or their relationship. And with that relationship, either with God, self, and others. And so, Nicole says, I coach churches to set up internal systems to healthily grow their church. And so, once again, that's a powerful thing because with what Nicole does, so not only, of course, you guys, let's be honest, when it comes to building a ministry, there's that wealth piece because they have to have the money that comes in to be able to sustain the actual organization. We need to be real about that. But then also when she mentioned the internal systems and being able to help these churches grow, then not only is she helping them, because a lot of those people, when it comes to their churches and being able to grow their churches and being able to have their systems in place, once again, that helps in the relationship aspect as well, because some of them may be frustrated and wonder, okay, well, God, did God really call me to this ministry? And am I really supposed to have this ministry? That type of thing. And then also the trickle down effect, Nicole, of if you have a church and once again, the internal systems are flowing the way that it's supposed to, then once again, it also helps people to be able to connect with that church, build relationships within that church, and then also their relationship with God as well. So Nicole, you all over the place. And then their health. And you guys, when we talk about health, it's not just mental health. I mean, it's not just physical health, but it's mental, emotional, spiritual as well. So Nicole, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys, even when we talk about health, don't fall into the trap of thinking that it's just their physical health, because yes, your physical health is important, but your emotional health is important. Your emotional, your mental health is important as well. So you guys, those things as well. So like I said, I don't know of any coaches in which, once again, what it is that you do does not fall into one of these categories. And I like to talk to my clients when it comes to the transformation, thinking about both tangible and intangible transformations. What are those things that they're experiencing tangibly and intangibly? Okay. So once again, keep that in mind when it comes to pricing your services. So people will pay you for what it is that you offer as a coach. They will pay you. Now, some other things that you need to take into consideration whenever you are pricing your services. These are some other things that you want to take into consideration. Your expertise. You guys, all that time that you have spent developing the skill set that you have. So whether or not that development was formally, so when I say formally, whether or not it was classes that you took, schools, professional development, personal development, that type of thing, like that expertise, but also your experience as well. Your experience as well. You see what I'm saying? Your experience as well. So your life experience counts as well. Because think about it. For a lot of people, they're like, shoot, I don't want to work with somebody that hadn't been through some things. If you haven't experienced what I experienced, or at least help others who have experienced this thing to help them to get the results, I don't know if I want to work with you. I'm just saying. So do not discount your life experiences. Don't discount that, because people, once again, they will pay. That's a part of your expertise. So your life experience plus that professional development, that personal development, all of that stuff, you take that into consideration as well when you are pricing your services. That 20 years that you spent on your career or in ministry or however it is, and you're starting your coaching business, or you've been a coach for a year, you don't say, well, hey, I've only been coaching for a year, so that means I can only offer XYZ at this price point. The devil is a liar. You have all that 20 years of experience. You do not discount that. Hey, Sharita, just like when you go for that promotion on your job, or just like when you move to another job, you don't say, well, hey, because I'm new to this job, I discount all of my prior experiences. No, we take that resume and we tweak that thing to meet that job description. It's the same thing when it comes to your coaching. You don't discount your coaching or your experience outside of coaching. You don't discount that and say, well, hey, this is only my second year of coaching. Therefore, no, that is not true. You take that expertise as well. Like I said, your time as well. Also, when I talk about your time, once again, that prep time, what are you doing to prepare before your coaching calls? Because people say, well, Bev, I only offer 45-minute sessions, 3 times a month. Okay. What about the prep time that you had to take before that session? And then the actual session itself. And then some of you have deliverables afterwards where you touch base with your clients or you actually have to deliver something to your clients. All of that time, take all of that time into consideration as well. You take that time into consideration as well. Did you factor that in when you were pricing your services? And then when I say their time, what I'm referring to with this is when someone hires a coach, you help them to save time and or money. So once again, where it may have taken you 20 years to get to where you are, it may have taken you 20 years to get to where you are. But when they sign up for your 4-month coaching program, you're showing them in as little as 4 months or as little as 16 weeks, they can start seeing results in this area. So where it may have taken you 20 years, they're going to start to see the results in as little as 16 weeks or 12 weeks or 8 weeks or a 90-minute session, however it is that you work with your people. That's what I mean when I say their time. So you're saving them time. They don't have to go through everything that you went through to get to where you are. Yes, Yolanda. One of my clients, one of my ladies that signed a 14. Yes, Yolanda. Yes. You guys, I'm telling you. Did you factor that in? Or did you take that into consideration? Did you factor that in when you were pricing your services? That's why when people ask me, well, Bev, how much should I charge? There are so many factors to take into consideration. So that's why and I know when people hear me say that, they're thinking, well, you just want me to pay you to tell you. No, I want you to pay me so I can tell you specifically what and how to charge for your specific services. Because I can give you generic, I can tell you, hey, in this industry as a coach, when you're starting out, usually we start off with a 90-day program. And, if you're starting out, $1,500. Like that's the industry standard. But I may have a conversation with you, and based on all of this skill set, and this conversation that we have, we end up actually coming out the gate and pricing your services at $5,000 and you sell it at $5,000 out the gate. That's why I say what I say. Because I want to be able to have that conversation with you and be able to specifically give you feedback. Just like what I did. Y'all saw me do this in real time with Michelle, who I've never had a conversation with Michelle. But as she typed this in here, I'm like, well, based on what she's saying, I can say this to her. It's the same thing when I'm working with my clients. I want to give you specific to what's going on with you and your business, not just something generic. And there's a huge difference with you selling your services for $1,500 versus selling it for $5,000. So I can give you the industry standard and the industry norm. I can do that. But I want you to be able to come in and maximize on what it is that you are doing. I love it, Nicole. I love that. And that's one of the things that I have my clients do, exactly what Nicole does. Once again, we go through and we list out everything. We list out all your credentials, and we literally sit down and brainstorm all the classes that you've taken, how much you've invested. So when you see that investment, hey, I've invested over $50,000 in my coaching services. And I'm only asking them to invest $5,000. I've invested $70,000 in my coaching services. I'm only asking them to invest $10,000. You see what I'm saying? Like it does something to you mindset wise. So when you show up and you have a conversation about what it is that you offer, and someone starts to hem and oh my gosh, I didn't think it was going to be that. I didn't think it was going to be that. Well, yes, that's what it is. And just like Nicole said, my price is my price, and you can stand firm in that because you know everything that you bring to the table. If not, the enemy will have you over there. Well, it was only, and you only, and then no. I can stand 10 toes down in this thing and say, no, this is what I bring to the table. This is why my investment is what it is. If this is what you want, and this is the level of transformation that you want, this is what it is. And either they'll figure out how to get the funds, or they'll continue to follow you until they do. One or the other. Hey, Miss Hillary. One or the other. So that part right there. Okay. So that part right there. So glad that was transformation. I got a lot of my LinkedIn people join. Now, this is the first time, well, I think the second time I did an event on LinkedIn, like when you with StreamYard. Now, you guys, this is another business strategist thing. With StreamYard, when you create the stream on StreamYard, it'll do the events for you. So I just went on LinkedIn and invited people. So I don't know if that's where all my LinkedIn people are coming from. I don't know, but thank you, LinkedIn people. But you guys, that's the thing. That is the thing. Okay, so once again, are you taking all of these things down here also? Now, this is not everything, but these are some things that you guys can start taking into consideration. So like we said, the transformation, knowing that people will pay to help to improve their wealth, their health, or their relationship. Knowing that with relationship, their relationship with self, others, and God, and with their health, it's not just their physical health. Yes, physical health, but mental and emotional as well. Also, when it comes to the expertise, their time and my time. Another thing, customer service as well. Customer service as well. You guys, I talk about this all the time, especially now this day and age. You guys, customer service, especially good customer service, it seems almost rare right now. Good customer service. Think about your experiences as you go into these different businesses and organizations and the level of customer service or lack thereof. Lack thereof when it comes to customer service. People will pay for excellent customer service. So, Nicole, I'm going to come to your comment in a second. People will pay for excellent customer service, and people will pay for more. Think about it. I always talk about Walmart and Target because usually people have a Walmart and a Target somewhere in their area. Walmart and Target usually sell about the same types of items, right? Why will people drive an extra 2 or 3, 5 miles to go to Target, pay more for that same tube of toothpaste versus what they would do at Walmart when Walmart is right around the corner? Why? Customer service experience. People will pay more for that experience that you have when you're there. Those of you, if you have a Chick-fil-A in your area, a Chick-fil-A, going to Chick-fil-A versus going to McDonald's, two completely different experiences. I'm just saying, because of the customer experience, because of the customer service. So think about your own customer experience, that customer service. Think about that. Do you take that into consideration when you're pricing your services? Do you take that into consideration when pricing your services? Okay, so Nicole says, my avatar pastors and churches think they don't need to pay for my services. This is kingdom. Where are your priorities? If you're not willing to invest at least $1,500 on your leaders. And so once again, there you go, Nicole. And you guys, that's the same thing with us as coaches. Once again, those people that do not value what it is that you do, you move on to the next. You move on to the next, because there are people out there when they look at that $1,500 price, oh, that's all? Let me go ahead and jump on this before Bev get a hold of her and have her triple her prices. Let me go ahead and jump on this right now before Bev get a hold of Nicole and have her triple her prices. I've literally had clients who have come to me and said, Bev, I've raised my price to $6,000. It used to be $2,000. I've raised it to $6,000, and more people are paying me in full now versus when I had it at $2,000 and they were coming in on a payment plan. Then why are they paying me in full at $6,000 when people were struggling to pay me on a payment plan at $2,000? Your mindset. And when you have that mindset like Nicole, where she knows and understands what it is that she brings to the table, there's that level of confidence that will attract a different person. But you have to remain in that space of confidence and knowing what it is that you bring to the table, what people will experience as a result of working with you if they are to get into your program, that type of thing. I'm just saying. And then two more things I want to hit on. When is it time to raise your prices? Bev. How do I know when to raise my prices? There are a couple of things you want to take into consideration when it's time to, or when you're thinking about raising your prices. One of the biggest things, if you are tired, exhausted, worn down, you're constantly in this cycle of I gotta sell. But Bev, I also gotta fulfill, the people that are actually in my program. I actually have to deliver the services. But Bev, I also gotta keep selling. If you're on that vicious cycle, it's time to raise your prices because you're underpriced. Your services are underpriced. It's time to raise your prices. And so once again, when it comes to raising your price, like I said, even figuring out the exact price point as well. Like I said, I walk my clients. There's 7 questions that I ask my clients to help them to come up with their price point. But like I said, because of this, my clients could end up doubling, tripling, quadrupling the same program. It's the same service, but I get them to look at it differently. That level of transformation is different. And so whether or not it's on their coaching side or on their consulting side, was working with the client the other day over on the consulting side of what it is that she does. And she was like, Bev, I was really thinking about offering this for 10. We had this conversation. I said, this at least 50,000. At least 50,000. So I checked in with her the other day. Hey, how are we doing? She said, oh, we're just waiting on the final approval. They did not hem and haw about the price point at all. They did not hem and haw where she was going to go in at 10,000. We had this conversation about how to position herself, went in instead and asked for the 50. And once again, they did not hem and haw about the price point. So she would have undercut herself by $40,000. I don't know about you guys, but how many of you guys could just leave $40,000 on the table? I don't know about you guys, but I'm not leaving $40,000 on the table. I will figure out something to do with that $40,000. I'm not leaving it on the table, ma'am. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I shared with you guys before, another one of my clients, she was asked to do a keynote for an hour. She presented it at $10,000. And they were like, oh, okay, we thought you were going to ask for way more than that. So in her mind, where she's thinking, is somebody really going to pay me $10,000 to keynote for an hour? She presented it, and the first thing they said, okay, we thought you were going to ask us for more. That's how I want to expect. I'm talking to my kingdom entrepreneurs right now. I want that to be our norm. But in order for you to get there, we're going to have to do some things differently, mindset-wise. Some of you guys, we're going to have to get out of this space of fear. We made decisions in the past that may not have panned out the way that we thought or wanted them to, and now we're gun-shy about moving forward. But you guys, I'm telling you, get into the space. You hear me talk about this all the time. Get into the room, get into the space, especially with other Christian entrepreneurs, other Christian female coaches in particular, and watch what starts to happen in those rooms. When you have people standing in agreement with you, praying with you on one accord, they're interceding for you and with you. That is something powerful about that. And those are the types of spaces that I feel like I have been called to cultivate and create, because I don't see it in this online space. I don't see it. I don't see it in this online space. And so it can be frustrating, but I'm like, I can either be frustrated or I can do my part to help to create and cultivate those spaces. So I show up, I invite you guys to join me, and then I keep moving. And so you guys, that same mindset, you get into the area that God has called you to and who he's called you to serve. You put your message of transformation out there, and then you invite them to join you. Do that on a daily basis and watch what happens. Okay? So you guys, that's it. That's what I have for you. So like I said, some of you guys, it's time for you to raise your prices. You've been sitting on that thing. Another thing that I tell my clients, get 3 people into that current price point, help them to get the results, the transformation, and then raise the price. Get them into that current price point that you have, get them on in there, help them to get the results, and then raise the price. Then how you raise your price and what you raise your price to, let's have a conversation about that. But once again, that's another indicator that it's time for you to raise your prices as well. So if you're feeling frustrated, burnt out because you're in that continual cycle, you feel like you're always selling, but wait a minute, I still got to serve my clients, but then wait a minute, I still got to bring in more people because the revenue is not coming in the way that I need for it to, it's time for you to raise your prices. And then, like I said, as you get those people in there, help them 3 to 5 people get those results, and then you can raise your price again. I'm just saying. All right. So you guys, that's all that I have. That's all that I have. Once again, I pray that this was helpful and useful. I meant for this to be 30 minutes, and here we are at minute 48. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Once again, this is my invitation to you. Those of you, if you want to know specifically how I can support you, reach out to me on whichever platform you're on, especially when it comes. Pricing is my jam. This is my area. This is my zone. This is my thing. Pricing is my thing. Pricing is my thing. I love to talk about pricing and help, especially my kingdom entrepreneurs, when it comes to pricing. I am so glad that this was helpful. I'm so glad that this is helpful. I'm glad that we're working together again, Jolana. And so you guys, like I said, some of you guys, you're in a couple of different places in your business. Those of you, we're doing the 30-day sales challenges coming up. It starts October the 15th. I saw somebody said, hey, I missed the early bird price, still getting in at $197. It is a no brainer, because once again, you can check out the page, the sales page, to see the results that my clients get. And once again, you can check anywhere. You can go to my www.callwithbeverly.com. I don't work with my client, not for $200. I don't do that. To work with me personally one-on-one starts at $4,000 a month. That's where we start, at $4,000 a month. And so once again, to work with me personally one-on-one, we start at $4,000 a month. So once again, if you're like, Bev, I need support, especially when it comes to the revenue, and you want to work with me personally one-on-one, let's have that conversation. The rest of you like, Bev, I don't know you like that yet. Join me in the sales challenge. You can join me at $197. 30 days of sales. 30 days of sales. Yeah, I try to keep my receipts on point every day. I tell people all the time, if you go to that page, any one of my sales pages, like you see the receipts down there at the bottom, like we update those receipts every single week, because my clients are closing sales every single week. I want to show you guys the possibilities as us as kingdom entrepreneurs, specifically Christian female coaches, the possibilities. And so once again, that 30-day sales challenge, the link on whichever platform you're on, the clickable link should be somewhere. Go ahead and click on that link. Read up on what we're going to talk about. What we're going to do is going to be 30 days of focused sales. So 30 days, everyday accountability. You're able to come into the group, ask your questions, get feedback. Bev, look at my sales page. Hey, Bev, this is my program. This is my offer. What should I price it at? That type of feedback. We're in a group setting. That type of feedback. We'll have one live workshop that we do, where we'll go through, we'll talk about your offer, we'll talk about your pricing, we'll talk about, how to sell it, your content, all of that stuff. And then once again, in the Facebook group that we'll have, it's a private Facebook group that goes along with it. You could ask, I don't care. You ask whatever questions you want to business about. I don't care if you ask me questions every single day. It doesn't, hey, because that's what you invested when you joined this particular sales challenge. And so you can come in, you can ask me whatever questions in there. So although we have the one large group session, we have one of those, but they will tell you in round one, I have people that were in round one that are joining us in round two. Why is that? And so once again, you come in, you ask your questions in the group. I'll either type out the response, or I'll go live or do a live audio, because it's easier for me to talk it versus type it, that type of thing. So it's an absolutely amazing opportunity for you guys just to be focused on 30 days of sales, especially as we start quarter four. I want us to be laser focused on quarter four, because there are misconceptions that people aren't buying and investing in the fourth quarter. That is a lie as well. People are buying and investing. I don't care what type of coach you are, but it's all in how you position it. Do you know how to position what it is that you do, to where once again they will invest in your services in quarter four, in spite of the holidays that are coming up? Think about it. Thanksgiving is just one day. Christmas is one day. Thanksgiving is one day. Christmas is one day. So why would I not sell a whole entire quarter, 90 days, because of two? That doesn't make any sense. So once again, kick off quarter four strong by joining us in the 30-day sales challenge. Those of you, once again, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, because that's my only other option right now, then like I said, investment does start at $4,000 a month. But once again, if my clients are creating 5-figure weeks and 5-figure days, then hey, that investment is worth it. So if you're interested in the one-on-one, definitely hit me up in Messenger. If you're interested in the sales challenge, just click on the link, read the information on there, read the testimonials that's on there, click that button. Afterpay is available as well. So if you need a little bit longer time to pay off the $197, Afterpay is available as well. You can definitely do that as well. But once again, it's only $197 to join us in the sales challenge. But do note that when you join us, there is pre-work from the very beginning. Time you sign up, there's pre-work. So I'm going to put you to work from the very beginning, because I want you guys to be proactive versus reactive. So time you sign up for the challenge, I'm already going to put you guys to work. So don't be like, well, hey, Bev, it's not till October the 15th. Yeah, but you sign up today on October the 3rd, and you're going to go ahead and get started right now. I had people in the first cohort make money before the challenge even started, because there's pre-work that is there. Okay. All right, you guys. So once again, that is all that I have. I love talking about pricing. I love supporting, especially Christian female coaches, when it comes to getting their price points in order, so that you can create these 5-figure weeks that you see my clients doing, so that you can create 5-figure days that you see my clients doing. I want this to be our norm. So 5-figure days, 5-figure weeks, your first 5-figure month, whichever way it is. But I want you guys to be in that space of having 5-figure weeks and 5-figure days. I want that to be our norm. Yes. Who has a question? I see someone has a question, and I can't see who it is. So yeah, if you have a question, yeah, go ahead and ask the question. Let me see if I can see who it is. Oh, hey, Wanda. Hey. So yeah, Wanda, you can ask your question here if you want to. And so, you guys, I'm telling you, once again, if you haven't joined us, go ahead and join us in the 30-day sales challenge. If you have a question and you're wondering if that's a good fit for you, just hit me up in Messenger. Hit me up in Messenger, and I'll definitely answer your question as well. Some of you guys, you need to be in some of my other services where um, it's a little bit more accountability there, that part. Yes, go ahead and join us now, Jatrice. We would love to have you. We would love to have you. So right now, I offer my one-on-one for 3 months and 6 months. I offer my one-on-one for 3 months and 6 months. Those that do my one-on-one 6 months, that's because they're looking to create six figures in 6 months. So those that do my 6 month, that's because they're looking to create six figures in 6 months. So that's my one-on-one, and then my 3 month program. That's the other way that people can work with me as well. Okay, could you create a training on adding services for people who need installments? Okay, yeah. Okay, so what Wanda is asking, because you guys, there are, so I'll tack it on to the end of this, Wanda. You guys, there are services out there that do offer third party billing. Like, there are actually, and I don't mind telling you guys this. There are companies out there that actually offer, even specifically as for coaches. Like, there are services out there, third party services out there that actually offer financing specifically for coaches. So that's a really cool thing. So where you may have it set up where, they can pay you over 3 months. With these third party financing companies, they can do it up to 12 months. Some of them allow for them to do it up to 60 months. And so that way, you see what I'm saying? So that way they can stretch their payments out over a longer period of time, where you may only offer for 3 months or 4 months or however long your program is. They allow for them to stretch it out over a 12-month period. So I do use a third party financing company for my higher price services. So once again, like I said, Tanisha just asked, and that's why I'm confident in saying, well, it's $4,000 a month to work with me, but I also know that I work with a third party company. Now, it is based on your credit. So, your credit, they do check your credit for those things. Now, something like Afterpay, those of you that use Square, that is now available on Square. Now, I don't know if they rolled it out to all Square accounts, but at least with Square, that is now a part of their services. And so I think, now don't quote me on this part. I don't know if it depends upon, how long you've been using it, all of that stuff like that. They do have a cap. They do have a cap on the price point, but the Afterpay, the reason why I'm able to offer Afterpay is because it's now available through Square. Now, once again, I don't know what the criteria is. Actually, one of my clients told me about it. So that's how I found out about it. So those of you, if you do use Square, go over there and check with Square to see if Afterpay is now available for you. And once again, that allows for people to break out their payments over a little bit longer period of time. So once again, their cap is a little bit, it's a little bit smaller, but some of these third-party financing companies actually do longer payments. You're so welcome, Tanisha. I pray that was helpful for you and to you. Okay. All right, you guys. So any other questions before we hop off here? So I'm going to go ahead and hop on off, but we don't have any other questions. And you can also hit me up in Messenger as well. So on whatever platform you're, watching this live from, or even on the replay, hit me up in Messenger. Like I said, you guys, pricing is my jam. This is where my clients come. This is why you see those testimonials with 5-figure weeks and 5-figure days, because pricing is my jam. This is where I feel like God has really gifted me when it comes to pricing and supporting these your Christian female coaches with their pricing. And so once again, this is one of my jams. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys, you're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Once again, if you have specific questions for me, feel free to reach out to me. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see you on the other side of this live. Take care. Take care. Take care.